So, Berto, if a therapist wanted to date online, do you think that would be kind of strange? Do you think there'd be any problems with that? If a therapist was like, "Hey, I think I'm ready for a romantic partner. I might as well do what everyone else is doing and go online and make a profile." Do you see any problem with that?
Oh, man. Unfortunately, yes, I can see how that would lead to problems.
I'm going to interrupt you and let's introduce the podcast. This is the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I am your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor and a Sagittarius.
My name is Humberto Castañeda. I'm an Aquarius, and I'm also a digital phonographer.
This email is from patron Drea. She says, "Dear Kirk, I'm a 35-year-old female licensed clinical therapist in Chicago with 7 years of experience and have been in private practice for the last 4 years. I would really love for you to do an episode on online dating. I would like to know your stance on therapists who do online dating. I struggle with this because I'm single, and like many singles these days, I find that online dating is the norm and a convenient way to meet people. However, I am worried about my clients potentially seeing my online dating behavior. I have not yet had a client who has found my profile, but I'm worried what the consequences could be if this were to happen. I'm very careful with self-disclosure in therapy, and with that, and with what I disclose on my online dating profile, keeping in mind that anyone could read it." I read that sentence weird, but let's move on. "Could it be harmful to the therapeutic relationship if a client saw my online dating profile? The way I see it, it is a form of self-disclosure. Should I delete it and find other avenues for meeting new people? What do you think?" Berto, what do you think?
Well, first, let's consider the extreme. I start my therapy practice, and I start my page, my dating page, and it's like, I'm like, Smooth Moves McGee. And I have all these pictures, inappropriate photos everywhere.
Wait. Let's just stop the press. Smooth Moves McGee.
That's my name, yeah.
That's the best, because I'm guessing you were going for something lewd and...
I was going to do Big Tits McGee, but I was not a woman, so I was like going for Smooth Moves McGee. But anyways, the point is, I could have all sorts of lascivious pictures, and then
Smooth moves,
and then I could say really weird things like, "I'm just hunting for some action," and blah blah blah. If I'm doing that and that's my page, well, that would I think that would definitely cause some problems because
what kind of problems?
Well, now if someone comes to therapy, they're probably, if they saw my page, they're gonna be like, thinking about that. They won't be able to not think about this. We won't be able to have a productive, like, smooth move, X-Lax, and then
so it'll distract them. That's what you're thinking?
Yeah. What if they think it's sexist? What if they think what I said was obscene? What if I put some pictures up that are, in reduced amounts of clothing and things like that? Mm-hmm. I think that could distract our work together.
Well, let's break this down. And get specific. So let's say you're in therapy, right?
I am no longer, but I have been repeatedly.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your therapists are usually women.
Yes. Well, it has only been.
And imagine you're online and you come across one of their profiles, and it's not Smooth Moves McGee. It's just a regular profile.
It's Slick Tits McJohnson.
Yeah. It's just like a regular profile. I like long walks on the beach.
Right.
Okay,
so now we're talking about a normal profile. Okay.
Yeah, which is probably what most therapists would do. But, you're saying you have a picture of yourself, maybe even if you have kids, you have, and you're talking about maybe you're bisexual and you disclose that. And you're like, "I'm tired of guys who aren't real men, and I want a man who that kind of talk."
Well, it's hard because unlike Facebook, where you could limit who sees your page, in a dating, and I don't know all of them, but I'm assuming that in most of dating sites, you don't really get to restrict, I don't want my clients to see it. Like, whoever will see it, will see it. Yeah. And so
what if you came across that? What would that have harmed your therapy with that therapist?
Well, it depends. For example,
would have you just been like, "Well, geez, I guess she's dating"?
Well, let's say my therapist was about my age, and the kind of woman I would find attractive. Let's just say, right? Yeah. And I came across, and let's say I'd already gotten over that because I'm in therapy. I'm like, fine. But then I come across a dating profile. My personality, I would probably obsess over that as I'm in therapy. I'd be like, oh my God, she's single and she's looking for dates. And I saw a picture of her in a bathing suit and, all that kind of stuff. But that's me. I mean, I'm on the extreme spectrum.
Yeah. So, patron Drea, you have a lot of excellent questions here. The main thing I'll say is there's a lot of unfair societal judgment about this sort of thing. We're a puritanical society. We shame sex of all kinds, particularly women. Our society judges a lot of things regarding sex, but particularly online dating. Mm-hmm. Imagine if you're a client and you saw your therapist on a hiking site, like there was a hiking, aficionado site.
That would ruin my ability to get therapy because I feel like she's judging me or they are judging me constantly for not being outdoorsy enough.
Yeah. It's like, and imagine a very similar profile. Yeah. I like to go hiking.
Yeah. It'd be fine.
These are the hikes I like. No one would question that. No. You would just be like, yeah, my therapist likes to hike. No. But my therapist is dating? It wants to date? Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's the dumbest thing because we're fucking stupid. We're a dumb human race who can't think past our own nose. And, we're stupid. So,
but then there are got to be limits, right? Like if let's say I have a male therapist and I am on Tinder. Grindr. I'm on Grindr. And I'm swiping by and I see his Grindr.
Again, imagine your therapist likes to go hiking every weekend.
And show me his Grindr.
No, he likes to go hiking, and that's his activity. He likes to hike with other people. That's his thing. He likes to go on bike rides. That's his activity. Or your therapist likes to have random sex with people of the same gender on the weekends. The only reason why we differentiate between those two things is because one rubs up against our puritanical, like nature, and one doesn't. Both involve. People say, "Well, wait a second. Random promiscuous sex is dangerous." Do you know how many people get in accidents while they hike or while they ride bikes? You know what happens? So, people have all sorts of weird justifications for judging things, and online dating is a part of that, and it's unfortunate. It's the way that it is. I'm not saying that we should ignore it. I'm just saying
I'm not saying it's right.
I'm saying it sucks, and I wish our society would just fucking get over it. It's 2017, people. The sexual revolution happened, sexual liberation happened in the 60s. It's like if people in the 60s knew where we would be in 2017, they would be like, man, we did not see that one because we thought we started a whole thing and then you just went backwards, Anyway, we're not backwards, but anyway, my point is we could do a lot better in our society. We could be like the French people, maybe. All right.
But what if you read, and it doesn't even have to be a dating site, right? Because let's say it is the Facebook profile, but what if you read things like, I'm an atheist and I really don't believe any religion is this or that or the other thing. And then that might also, and then you happen to be very religious.
Exactly. So that's my next point is, yes, seeing your online dating profile or seeing anything on the internet for that matter can harm the relationship you have with your clients. And, they might lose respect for you. Depending on the situation, again, that's silly, but that's a reality. Mm-hmm. They might not trust your advice because they think that you're desperate or something. Like if you're, it's like, wait a second, you're giving me marital advice and you can't even find a man, that kind of, again, totally stupid, but a reality that as a therapist, you sometimes have to deal with. Also, they might feel bad for you or they might be sexually attracted to you, like what you were saying, Bruno. Yeah. So there are things you have to consider. But the thing is you're entitled to have a life as a therapist.
Of course.
You're entitled to date. You're entitled to online date. And so in my opinion, therapists are free to risk the harms that might happen if they want to.
And then maybe just make a page that's not.
Right. As long as you're really careful about what you put on your page. And I'll get more into that in a second.
Like if they're the pictures, make sure you shave first.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. I'm just going to move past. Also, patron Drea, you said that your clients have not seen your profile. And what I say to that is, unless you're on a site that tells you who sees your profile, which isn't likely, you have no idea if your clients have seen your profile.
Of course. Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And so my advice is, what I do is I assume that all of my clients have seen everything I've put on the internet because many probably have.
Yeah.
To assume otherwise is to be in denial, which is a convenient, self-serving way of looking at the situation. So just assume that they've all seen it. So don't, just because none of your clients have walked into your office and said, I saw you online, the chance that someone will come across your online profile and tell you is very slim.
If you swipe, wait, which way do you swipe to reject someone on Tinder?
Is that a left?
Okay, whatever.
know.
Let's say it's left. If you swipe left, they don't know about it, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And that's Tinder, though.
Yeah.
There are lots of other sites. So here's my advice. Think about everything that you disclose on your profile and on the internet in general. So consider everything you put on there. And at the end, have a colleague who's a therapist review it. Get someone else's opinion, to look at it and say like, I don't know, that looks, you should do this anyway, just right. Even if you're not a therapist, you should have someone look at your profile to make sure that, because a lot of times people think, this is my favorite picture of my face. And then you have a friend of yours look at it. You're like, that's
the worst thing.
That's a terrible picture. You're like, what are you talking about? I'm standing next to my surfboard. It's like, well, you look like a douchebag, so stop it.
I have my shark necklace, my shark teeth necklace.
So think about everything you put on your profile. So my general advice is do it, because honestly, in today's world, especially if you're in your 30s, it's going to be hard to meet people otherwise. Sure. There are ways of meeting people for sure.
Like start a therapy practice.
Yeah, you can. Lots of people call you. Also, another thing you could do is you don't have a picture. You could use a nickname. I know a lot of therapists that will do this. And if someone wants to see a picture of you, they have to interact with you specifically.
I think that might only work for women.
What do you mean?
I just mean that I imagine more guys would be willing to wait to see the picture.
I could see it going either way. Because
okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'll stand corrected.
Because some men might only look at a picture.
Sure.
Whereas some women might be like, well, his profile seems,
That's a good point.
But that's an option. It's a very safe way to online date as a therapist.
That's true.
Is you have a nickname. You can say whatever you want on your profile and not have a picture. And then you're seriously narrowing your choices because a lot of people interact with pictures. But, that's a really safe way to do it. And if a client came across it, they would have no idea as long as you didn't say you're a therapist. Another option is there are some dating websites. eHarmony is one of them. Last I heard, they only connect people. They only connect a few people with you each day. So you make a profile in eHarmony, and no one else can see it. It's not like Match.com.
You don't get to search randomly for
right.
it. Yeah.
You get connected with a few people every day, and then only those people that the site connects you with will be able to see your profile. So the chance that they'll connect you with one of your clients is, I'm guessing, pretty slim.
Right. A good friend of ours met his wife that way. Remember?
A good friend of ours met his wife that way?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
They even did an ad for they had him pose for pictures.
Who was that?
Should I say the name?
Sure.
I think so. Art.
Well, it was on TV.
And actually, he was on our podcast one time.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember the art exhibit with Art?
I totally forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
On eHarmony?
On eHarmony.
Yeah. Also, another option is to limit your time on these sites. A friend of mine did this. She would only go online dating for like a week at a time. So so she'd make a profile. She'd go hardcore for a week, and she would communicate with all sorts of people, and then she'd shut down her profile and erase it. But then she had all these email addresses
Limited one-time offer.
that she could kind of interact with. Because honestly, if you online date for a week and you do it well, you can meet a number of people that will sustain your dating interests for a number of weeks after that, you know?
Right.
So that's another option you could do. And if you did that like 1 week every 6 months, like the chance of your clients coming across it is really limited, you know?
I see.
But a lot of these people who do online dating, they'll put up a Match.com profile and it'll be up in perpetuity.
Yeah.
You know, even while they're dating someone, they'll be like, well, you know, I'll just leave it up there and maybe I'll come back to it later. You know?
I wonder if I have a Match.com profile.
Did you ever make one?
I think so.
Also, another thing to think about is as you're online dating yourself as a therapist, you might actually come across your clients' profiles. And the advice there is, what's my advice there?
Walk away.
Exactly. Don't look at it.
No, I meant walk away with all the pictures and all the information.
Yeah. Because it could absolutely compromise your relationship with them. You could see them very differently. You could accidentally reveal that you saw them, and that would be a mess.
Awkward.
Very trust violation.
Yeah.
Also, some online dating sites allow people to see who has viewed their profile. So if that happens and you click on their profile, then you've drastically increased the chance that they'll see your profile.
Right.
Or the least that they'll see that you looked at them. So, just if you see their photo, just walk away. Just don't click on it.
Is chat roulette still a thing?
Chat roulette a thing?
Are people still doing it?
I don't know.
Do you recommend that as a way for?
Yeah. And the last thing is live your life. You deserve to live your life, and this job shouldn't ruin it. And again, if you're gonna find a romantic companion in today's world, online dating is likely going to play a part in that. In that search.
That sounds like a balanced and fair approach.
Yeah. Well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining me us out there. And please take care of yourself because
you deserve to date online.